great sign is a surefire way to get people through the door. At Impact Signs, Awnings, Wraps, we specialize in creating beautiful signs that capture attention and draw people in. Whether you're a business, school, church, bank, hospital, or event venue, we have the perfect sign solution for you. We make the process simple. From design to manufacturing to installation, our team handles it all. The right sign helps you stand out and attract more customers, so you want to get it right. Impact Signs, Awnings, Wraps. Hashtag any sign, anywhere.
Welcome to this special presentation of Knoxville Nights presented by Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wraps, live at the 64th NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals presented by Casey's. Here are your hosts, Blake Walker, Cade Higday, and Josh Gerlach. Welcome back, everybody. We are at the Knoxville Raceway. This is Knoxville Nights presented by Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wraps. It is Thursday, which means it is Toyota qualifying night here at the 64th NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals presented by Casey's. We are live here on the DIRTVision stage and on our YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you are subscribed at Knoxville Nights on both of those platforms and also on your favorite podcast app as well. I am your host, Josh Gerlach, alongside my co-hosts Blake Walker and Cade Higday. We have a lot to talk about from last night's Brant qualifying night. And then we also are going to be joined by a guy that's pretty well known around these parts. Shane Stewart is going to be here at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And then tomorrow we have Garrett Williamson for FVP Hard Knocks Night. And on Saturday we will have Tanner Holmes at 2 p.m. as well. So lots to go through. Blake, do you want to kick us off and start walking through last night?
Yeah. I want to start out by talking about the crowd. It was the largest crowd we have ever had on a Wednesday night of the Knoxville Nationals.
You could tell.
I can tell you right now, just by looking around on this Thursday here, we had a lot of rain this morning. We had 2.5 inches of rain here in Knoxville. The wind was blowing. There were canopies everywhere, but everybody has still shown out. I don't know what it looked like from the infield from your guys' perspective, but, man, seeing all the people start filing in on the backstretch, it's so cool.
Yeah, it was crazy, and the cool thing is about that, we don't get it on a weekly basis, obviously, but the crowd reactions when things would happen on the racetrack is probably my favorite part of the Knoxville Nationals.
You could feel it out here even. Like, I know I heard many people talk about how just it felt a little more crowded. The campers, even last week we had kind of talked about it just between ourselves that the North Campground was really, really filing in, and I think it's only going to get even more, more busy as the week goes on.
You mentioned the crowds. Unfortunately for our friend Caleb Johnson, It was at back in the pack, so we didn't see it. But you hear the crowd go, oh, and it's so loud. It's awesome. And the light shows looked good. I think Wade's going to debut these really nice signs by our friends Impact Awnings and Wraps. They're like bright neon signs that say Aussie, Aussie, Aussie and other stuff. So
that's awesome. Wade's
really excited for that. But, the crowd was really, really fun. The weather was good. I mean, overall, would you say the weather was pretty solid?
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't really ask for much better of a day in August.
Yeah, once the rain got out of here in the morning and we got treated to some more overnight, it would be interesting to see how the track is. But I have full faith in the Duncans that they're going to have everything ready to go tonight.
Speaking of the Duncans, Cade, walk us through track surface last night. I thought it was juiced up. I think a lot of people expected that. We got down to a 15.5, 15.3, 4, something like that in qualifying. We expect it juiced up again tonight, but just talking about last night, what'd you see in the track surface?
Definitely more juiced up than usual, but like I said, last week when we were doing our little preview thing about the Nationals, there's a lot of racing to be happening on the racetrack this week. So the first couple of nights are always going to be a little bit more juiced up, and then usually Friday's a damn good show and Saturday's a barn burner.
Yeah, absolutely. Pill draw was fun. It's always fun to check out the pill draw. The David Gravel was the second to last pill. Obviously, Jack Anderson was an early pill. We talked about that. I think pill draw played into a couple guys' nights. We'll talk about Jack here in a little bit, but pill draw is always fun. It opens up at 2 o'clock, so if anybody wants a fun game to play, you just go on My Race Pass and you just start scrolling because, man, it is fun to roll through. Yeah,
you rolled through and you see Jack up front, but then you see Corey Day, and it's like, man, I'd be surprised if he didn't put a good lap in. So you're like, he's probably going to be coming from 8th in that heat race, and Rico was up there as well, and you can kind of see how the night might shape out unless, something crazy happens and somebody doesn't put down a good lap or whatnot. But, it is, like you said, fun to watch on My Race Pass.
Any surprise Rico Abreu was our quick time qualifier?
No shot.
No.
I think when people saw him on the front row, just like first 10, 12 cars in, especially after that test a couple weeks ago when he broke the track record, I think everyone thought that was it. And clearly that car was dialed in. We'll talk about him in the feature, but it was fun qualifying efforts. Couple names that shot up late that I think what
sure.
Gravel go to
Fourth.
I mean, that's the speed that it shows. But well, let's go through the heat races here. Heat race number 1. Obviously, we had our invert of 8. We talked about the invert just a little bit last night. It's awesome. You got to work for it. I mean, that's just really what it came down to, and we only saw a couple handful of guys get through it, but invert's still great. And I assume you guys agree.
I totally agree. I know Dennis Gainey thinks it should go back to 10, which is a whole different discussion, which I am kind of waffling on that idea as well. But, like everybody says, the Nationals are the Nationals. It should be hard. You should have to work to get through the field and get into your prelim night feature. Ryan Timms was the only guy that was starting 8th that made it through. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And, Cade, from 360 Nationals where it's 6, even that's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's almost impossible, honestly, with the caliber of cars that you're racing. And the 410s is obviously even tougher yet. So, I don't know if the 10 invert would have been a good thing with the way the track was last night, but honestly, the 8 was probably about the same as the 10 would have been. So, definitely makes it interesting with that big of an invert.
Donnie Schatz qualified about mid-20s. That put him in 3rd to start heat race number 1, drop back to P7. There's just a lot happening on the beginning of these heat races. Rico did not get a good start going into turn 1, and those two guys just played behind the whole race, and you could see them trying to get the bottom rolling. But in heat race number 1, Cade, you're like, you had to make the move on the restart, and if you didn't, you weren't going to get moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And the starts are always crucial in the heat races anyway, but especially when you have to pass 4 race cars to get into the A through your heat race, which as we saw last night, it made the B very interesting, and it just shapes up for a good night.
Sure, you have 10 laps, but starting from 8th is really tough. And I really didn't even catch what happened to Donnie on the start, but I look back and he was like racing with Rico. It's like, what the heck? And
he got checked up by someone, and I think just kind of got stuck on the bottom and went backwards.
And it looked like he kind of got it rolling there for a little bit. There was kind of a bump or something down on the
close,
berm.
Yeah.
Caught that a little bit in qualifying. Also, I noticed there was a few guys that got that berm in 1 and 2, and it's not good when you go from a transfer spot and fall back and then you're having to chase.
And you could tell by the track surface. I mean, Rico just couldn't move. I mean, that was really what you could tell. You're like, okay, early portions of the heat race, you're just stuck. So Tanner Holmes started on the outside of the front row, so he went +1, ends up winning the heat race. They talked to him on his social media, and he was happy about it, but it's like everybody's reaction. You're like, well, we didn't really get a lot of points. I mean, we're in the show tonight, but we didn't get a lot of points to help us out.
Yeah, and he's floating right on that cut line of having to race on Friday and not. So I'm sure he was probably pretty excited to see the rain today and hoping for a low point night.
Yeah. Heat race number 2, I didn't catch what happened. I just so happened to be looking away, but Corey Day almost stuffed it in the fence in turn 1 and got checked up. That derailed his whole night. Like, he was obviously one of the fastest cars. We know he's so fast coming from the back. What do we think of that?
It kind of just looked like we've seen, leader goes, you go. And he was trying to maybe scoot around. I can't remember who was in front of him, but kind of tried to fill that gap. It closed, and he had to really check up. And he was about a half a straightaway back from the leader by the time he got to turn 1. And selfishly for us fans, it's fun to watch fast guys like that have to come through the field. And I would say his night ended up shaping up pretty decent after the heat race.
Yeah, absolutely. Emerson Axum, I said it to Tony right when it happened. I'm like, Axum's 6th to 3rd, and then he got 6th to 2nd, and all that happened in the first lap. I mean, he was 6th to 3rd by the back straightaway. Cade, we talked about the starts. Tim said it in his press conference as well. If you're starting on the outside in these heat races, you're pretty much golden. I mean, at least you give yourself a better opportunity. I think back to last week, you just couldn't seem to get a start on the top. You were always on the bottom.
Yeah, and that's huge. Like, you watch the gravel heat race when everybody that is on the bottom is stuck there regardless of what happens. So when you start on the top, you kind of have 2 lanes that you can work with. You can run the middle, you can run the top, and the runs just seem to play out a lot better when you start on the outside and you have the room to do it.
How much more, like if we're thinking throttle percentage, because I see it and you can hear it. When you're on the bottom going into turn 1 on a restart and it's single file, how much throttle percentage would you say, 0 being none, 100 being full throttle, is it compared to the top in turn 1 of restarts?
And is it in your brain that you've got guys behind you that might be trying
Also
to
might be,
slide up and get around you, that you have to watch out for the guys coming behind you too?
Oh, absolutely. You definitely give it as much as you can without blowing completely through the bottom and missing the
You
corner.
can't hit the guy in front of you.
Yeah. It just depends on the track too. Like sometimes it's a little slimy down there and you have to lift a little bit more, or sometimes it's juiced up and you can run it wide open. But when it gets juiced up and wide open, which I don't think it was last night, it was juiced up, don't get me wrong, but I think it was still a little bit slimy in the heat races, and those guys couldn't just get the huge run off the bottom, which sometimes we see here.
And on a start like that, do you have the dirty air as much as you would normally have when you guys are up at speed?
Not necessarily. It's more so like on the top where you get the dirty air on the restarts, but yeah, it's still the worst thing about that too is you have to watch the guy in front of you, that he might kind of miss it and check up, and then next thing you know, you're ramping over him and going to high V.
Caleb Johnson leads all 10 laps. We'll talk about paint schemes later, but that scheme looks pretty slick with the
white wheels. Yeah.
Caleb leads all 10 laps. It's not Dustin Selvage, but that 6 car won another dang heat race. Maybe we should just be like, what team has won the most heat races in a year? Because I mean, that's pushing 10 for DGRD. So
DGRD Heat Race Winner Award.
Yeah, seriously. But Emerson Axum ended up finishing second. That really, where he's at in points, that heat race probably is going to get him in the show on Saturday night. So I think he should be really thankful for that. Heat race number 3, Casey Jedrzejek had our first big crash of the night, the one where the crowd kind of went up and going. I think we just caught the tail end of it. Very violent wreck. I mean, just tumbling over and over. I don't know how much you guys caught of it. I think he just kind of got over the cushion. He's along for the ride. That's
what he said. Yeah, and Cade, you can talk on this. Like, especially when it's still kind of wet and heavy early in the night. How easy is it to get up over it, and then what happens when you get up over it?
It's really easy to get up over it. It's not so much of a curb, but like it's just slimy once you get up over it, and you're legitimately along for the ride once you get up over it because it's still slimy and greasy, and
you can't power out of it at that point because of how slimy and greasy it is, right?
Exactly.
If Ryan Timms comes out with the Nationals victory this year, they're going to circle this heat race. They're going to circle tonight, obviously, for good reasons. But his heat race is where it started. He goes from 8th all the way up to 4th. He was the only one that was the first group of quick qualifiers to move up through. And really, I think the track got good at just the right time for him. And he was making moves early and often like Ryan Timms has all season long.
Yeah, he was on a move for sure. It was fun to watch, and I kind of expected it out of more heat races, honestly, but that really shows the speed that they have, that they were the only ones to do it from 8th.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new. We've seen that speed. The attitude of the car looked very similar to what we've seen all year, and the motor rips. I mean, we're repeating ourselves over and over here, but he's been that good this year, and we kind of talked about it with him in our Jetco trailer talk after the races last night that, if he would have thought that this was going to be happening this year, let alone last year when he was kind of struggling with his own car, that he's definitely going to be one to watch for on Saturday for sure.
Sheldon Hodenshield goes +4, 6th to 2nd. I think Connor Wade had a really good stat last night that Sheldon has never started inside the top 10 of the Knoxville Nationals. A stat, something like that.
Yeah.
Usually pretty good at finishing in the top 10, but had never started in the top 10. Last night showed that they were very happy, I think, with what they brought to the track. They didn't like what they had at the Cappy. That's what he said in the press conference. But 6th to 2nd in the heat race, I mean, there was a little bit there in that feature. I'm like, Sheldon didn't quite have the car, but it's better than what we've seen Sheldon do on any of these prelim nights before.
We've talked about it in some of our episodes kind of leading up to this point that Sheldon's definitely one that getting started early in the night has been a struggle here for whatever reason, whether it was in qualifying or the heat races. But he has shown, whether it's just a regular outlaw event or if it's been at the Nationals, that when it comes race time, they can move forward pretty well. But getting them started early, we'll talk about somebody else that's kind of like that as well when we get into our preview for tonight. He ended up really good in points. He's probably going to be starting in the top 10, like you said.
Yeah. Heat race number 4 got us our big storyline of the week. We were kind of waiting for it. We're like, what's going to be the storyline? Everybody took off going into turn 1. David Gravel was obviously 4th quick, so he starts 8th. He goes into turn 1, and there's contact between him and Hunter Schoenberg, and David Gravel goes flipping off into turn 1. Gravel got out, said Hunter was driving with his eyes closed, and that he's trying too hard at the Knoxville Nationals, and the crowd was very animated. This is just a really tough situation all around. You can kind of take it however you want. I have seen 50-50, really. I've seen David Gravel came down. I've seen Hunter Schoenberg didn't give him a single line, and he just went up the racetrack. Kate, I'll start with you from a driver's perspective. It's already really tight in turn 1. You're trying to get all you can before we get to how this impacts David's week. But what did you see from the wreck in turn 1, and is it racing? Is there a fault? What do you see?
It's 100% just aggressive racing. Gravel was trying to get Hunter pinched down to the berm and kill his shot at a run, and they made contact. It kind of looked like Hunter came up just a little bit, but Gravel was coming down anyway. Definitely just hard racing, and he went for a ride.
He hit the wall pretty freaking hard.
He did.
So
he did.
Cage first.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of entering almost in the slick a little bit. Like we had talked about just a little bit ago with getting into turn 1, you really want to try to chop or stop any momentum to try to get down, especially starting up on the outside line. I think allegiances, you might blame one guy or the other. I know David's kind of getting a little bit of a knack for trying to be a villain here lately, but I also agree that it just looked like a hard racing, going into turn 1 at the Knoxville Nationals.
We have seen this before. David wrecked in his heat race a couple years ago. That was the year that he came from 24th to 2nd in the A feature, so he's got a lot of work to do. We'll talk about the B main. Sure made it interesting, but it's good to see David okay. He was very quick out of the car. I mean, very quick. Top wing had completely come off, and he was out, and I was like, well, is he going to go find somebody? He was kind of walking around, but luckily the cars had not rolled back around from the red flag. And give credit to that team for fixing that car up. I didn't think for sure he was going to be able to have a chance to go out for the C at least, but they got that thing hooked up. And maybe you can help us out, Cade. Is there a certain, what are you allowed to bring in the infield? Are you able to go back across? Because we saw Cy Lynch last night, that engine came apart, or the engine cover came apart because of dirt in the radiator. They were able to go back across to the parking lot and get a new engine cover. Is there rules, or is it whatever you can carry, you can bring in?
If you have time, you can go back out and get it, but teams like that are so prepared that they kind of have an idea of what they might need throughout the night if things go sideways like it did. And, they were prepared, and as you saw, they made a quick turnaround on a car that probably most teams wouldn't have put back out there.
And it was, by the time the heat races were over, I was just going to go over there and see, they might be sitting around.
Brand new.
Yeah, I did.
I thought they pulled out a backup car.
By the time I got down there, they had everything ready to go. I saw David up, in front of the trailer with his tear-offs going on. I was like, okay, we're going to see how the C main goes.
You mentioned it to me, and I looked down. Rico had 3 wings
He did.
last night. Is that normal to have 3 wings down there?
I think before the B main, I told you guys that I saw 3 wing changes. Yep.
Unbelievable.
And why would they do that, Cade? What are you looking to maybe
qualifying
try?
wing for
Qualifying wing, and then maybe they have a wing that has a little bit different build to it. I don't really know, honestly.
I did notice the one. I don't think it was the qualifying wing. Did not have the right sideboard clip there. So is that looking for a little bit more aero?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. I mean, I like it. It's compact. It's everything. It's also easy for everybody to see.
That's what I was going to say. You can peer down there and you can see some of these teams. They have a lot of stuff down there. So I've seen extra engines that have been put down there before.
Any other night, anyone on the front stretch wouldn't be able to watch David Gravel's team fix that whole thing. But if you have a pair of binoculars, you could see right down there and watch them fix that car up.
Bring your bird watchers.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny Dietrich and Brandon Spithaller had a really good battle. Really 2 good runs there for the PA Posse guys. Danny had a pretty good night. I don't know where I'll have to look where he's at in points, but
13th.
So not bad at all for Danny Dietrich, especially coming back here to Knoxville. Really cool to see. And then Chris Martin led all 10 laps and took home the win in heat race number 4. Heat race number 5 was quick. We had a yellow. There was kind of a jumbled up restart, and Garrett Williamson spun while we had the caution. He spun out, and Ben Brown in that 10V for Mike Vanderecken. Somehow. I'm not really sure how.
He didn't miss him.
No.
He actually did make some contact with the tail tank, and
so
they
we
hit
couldn't
the rear
quite
bumper.
see from up in the booth. But Ben put that thing almost all the way on the berm. And Garrett should be thanking Ben because that could have been way worse than it was.
And Ben should be thanking his lucky stars. I don't know how that thing didn't get upside down.
I don't know how.
Like you were saying, he was up on the berm all crazy. And, fortunate that nobody ended up getting upside down there.
And we'll talk to Garrett tomorrow again. He'll be here with us at 2 p.m. It was incredible timing because it looked like the start was coming back.
Yeah.
The yellow came out in legitimately half a second after that. Garrett was spinning. It sounds like a brand new steering gear broke for him, and he was just along for the ride and then was still able to put it in the show.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much different his week will be if that yellow wasn't coming out for the restart.
I can't wait to ask him what his thoughts were when he was backwards and then how quickly it was, okay, now I'm in the show, now I'm good in points. I mean, not great in points, but he's really well set.
There's probably some bleeps in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so really incredible job by both of them to be able to get that done.
For sure.
Sam Hafertepe Jr. and Blake Hahn went +2. Sam Hafertepe Jr. had a really quiet night. We'll talk about it in the points, but quietly went under the radar. And then Garrett and Austin McCarl. Austin McCarl has a fast piece this week, boys. Very fast in qualifying. Went out late, put up a top 10 time. Was moving out throughout the feature a little bit. I think kind of faded a little bit in the A feature, but 88's fast. I mean, he's got that thing ready.
And it's no surprise. We see it almost every week here. I mean, we keep saying that he hasn't won a 410 race here. And, things are getting spicy for him. They, like you said, they have a lot of speed, and you know that he wants to do really well this week.
They've just been chomping at the bit. And I mean, like you were saying, if anybody's paying attention every week in Knoxville, the 88 is always in contention. They probably would like to have a few more wins this season and even last year. But he is a champion for a reason. He's going to pick up his 4th this year?
Yeah.
3 in a row,
Yep.
fourth overall in the 410s. Very, very quiet, and we mentioned it yesterday on the show that he has sat on the pole here before for Saturday night. Definitely, he's in the top 8 in points right now. Probably is going to make it. We'll have to see how tonight goes. But definitely one to look out for as well if they got that thing rolling on Saturday.
David Gravel was in the C main. You don't hear that a lot. It's been a long time since we've heard those words. He started on the pole, got a little bit of a challenge from Zach Hampton in the first portion, but was able to pull away. Chase Randall and Brooke Tatnell kind of swapping back and forth in 3rd and 4th. We'll talk about Chase Randall a little bit, but David Gravel got onto the C. The B main was the race to watch. Gravel was really fun to watch. 21st to 13th in just a couple laps. Got a couple lucky cautions, and that really kind of set things going. We'll talk about the rest of the B here, but Gravel gave it all he had, but just not enough time. But the car was so hooked up, you could tell they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, like it was just looking at my race pass and just watching the positions game just keep going up and up and up. And it wasn't surprising. He was hustling that thing. And there for a little bit, it looked like if he would have gotten another caution, he may have had a chance to get up to the top 4. But you look at what the top 4 ended up being, it was going to be really tough to get by any of those guys.
The last single file restart, he kind of went into turn 1 and he got checked up. And I think I was standing next to Dave Reef, and Dave's like, that's it. I mean, he had his shot, but it was quite the drive. I mean, still unbelievable. It just showed how fast that car is.
Yeah, and it's really not that much of a shocker to me.
No.
We've been talking all year about how it's the Gravel show, and he just proved that he's one of the fastest cars, and not really a huge shock that he drove through that B.
And, obviously he'll be racing tomorrow night. I think he's probably going to be the favorite to win tomorrow night on Hard Knocks night. So
he's won Hard Knocks night before, so it's like,
And has almost won the Nationals after going through Hard Knocks night.
So, I think
he has not ruled out at all for Saturday night.
If it took him, that was 12 laps to go from 21st to, what did you finish?
13th, and then he got up to, I think it was 8th.
Something like that. I mean, 50 laps. He's got plenty of time to get up through the field. Rico Ambreu ended up winning the B main. Car looked good out front. There's no surprise when that car's humming, it's humming. Corey Day was right there behind him. Jack Anderson, let's talk about Jack. We'll talk about him in the points a little bit, but kid drove the wheels off the car last night, and a lot of people probably came here to this weekend and was like, who's Jack Anderson? I've never heard of Jack Anderson. Well, Jack Anderson's been cutting his teeth here this year at Knoxville. Ran a 360 last year, makes the jump to 410. I'm going to be honest, I'd tell him to his face, I did not think he was ready for a 410. I was like, man, I was kind of surprised. But, man, he jumps in, he gets that first pill draw, that helps him out, qualifies well, and drives it up through the B and just holds on to his position and gets it in the A. And, Kate, I know you're really good friends with him, and an emotional night, but a breakout night for Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a great night altogether. The turn 3 thing in the heat race was a little bit sketchy.
Yep, he almost saw God in turn 3 when he went over the cushion.
Yeah, it was funny. After the B main, he was telling his dad, how about no more looking at the lights doing wheelies in turn 3? But, yeah, great night for him. Obviously, like you said, a breakout night for him in front of the entire world watching him.
It was pretty cool. There were some big-time Twitter accounts, tweeting about Fast Jack Anderson. And, if he could have gotten around Hank in the heat race when he did almost see God, then
I think he was set. He was rolling the top really well, and he was late so he could move in the heat race because the track allowed it.
And, obviously he would have locked in to the show on Saturday if he would have been able to do that. But, what ifs, whatever. Really cool. That's a great family. And we had a great Jetco trailer talk with him as well, so check that out on our socials or on our YouTube channel. He is a great kid. Couldn't be happier to see that success for those guys.
One of the more wild incidents I've seen here in the last couple of years happened coming to the start-finish line. If you think that these guys don't care about getting into these A features and getting points, last night's finish proved that that's wrong. Cy Lynch and James McFadden. James goes high into the corner and gets a run, kind of diamonds the corner. Cy goes high. James gets an unbelievable run. And Cy's coming down the track. James is coming up, and they collide. Kind of looks like when Brownie beat Reitzel a couple years ago, except they hit each other perfectly. But that's all I thought about last night. I'm like, man, that's what probably could have happened to that 360 Nationals a couple years ago. They make contact, and Cy just goes flipping, and he drills, and I mean drills the wall down there. It's wood. It's a wood fence. James crosses the start-finish line on one tire because he's up in the air. He gets the final transfer spot, and Cy misses it. But my goodness, hard hit. I mean, first of all, hard hit. I hope Cy's okay. But what a finish. I mean, that was unbelievable.
It was, I mean, that was a scary wreck because anytime you have a car pretty much at full speed, you know, one of the fastest parts of the track is in the middle of a straightaway, and you just see him kind of heading straight towards the infield. It's kind of an angled wall there, too. You got some tire barriers. But, you know, James said it in his interview right after it happened that, you know, he didn't really know if it was his fault. From my vantage point in the center tower, you could kind of see that happening. Then on the replay, I didn't realize just how far down Cy was. Like, in those situations, you can talk to it. You know, you saw it with the 360 shootout last year with you in Austin. You kind of have a feeling if you're up top that somebody's probably coming for you on the inside, and it did. It just looked like they kind of came together going for the same spot, and very unfortunately for Cy, he got the worst end of the deal.
Yeah, he sure did, and that was a hell of a ride. It honestly looked like Cy kind of got he had one little mishap in 3 and 4, and I feel like he was just trying to pull down to block a run, but James had a big enough run that by the time that he got there to where Cy could see him, he was already to the point where bad things were going to happen, and unfortunately they did. Yeah,
and I did see on the way here, actually, I did see Cy out there working on the car still, you know, trying to get things ready for tomorrow night. I would say that he is probably not happy with the high limit season that he's had. They've had plenty of struggles there. Just had a good run. I think it was at Lernerville. Out on the East Coast, but it was shaping up to be a really good night for him. It's unfortunate to see that happen.
And they had great speed. I mean, he qualified top 10, and he went later. So I mean, I think it's a tough break for him. But Cade, you obviously had your finish with Austin. Brownie and Reitzel have had it. Brownie and Reitzel made contact. I don't think you and Austin touched each other, but as a driver, like, these aren't stock cars. You can't just hit the guy. I mean, you can. But it's almost got to be tire, perfect, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, when it's coming to the start-finish line like that, is it sometimes some drivers will just hit them. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. But in other points, this is for the safety of me and this other guy. Like, if we really fully tangled, we're both gone.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't intentional.
No, not at all.
Like, obviously, I said he was trying to get down to block the run, but James's run was too big. But, yeah, you kind of have to know that, like, you're going to get squeezed, and it's a little different scenario with, like, Brownie and Reitzel and me and Austin a couple years ago. We kind of knew we were racing with each other at that time. I don't think Cy knew that
James was going to get a run.
Because he was so far back, you probably couldn't even see it on the board if you're Cy going to 3.
It reminded me of Pittman and Tasker.
I was just about to say that.
Because it looked just like it. Now, obviously, contact's different for each contact you make, but it looked just like it, where Cy easily could have just gone back the other way and bounced off, but you just catch the cars at the weird time. James had all the forward momentum. So
it just goes to show how lucky we were last week with Tasker and Darren, because catching the front tire at that angle, you can really go for a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Your A main, it was Ryan Timms. Ryan Timms was able to take care of business. Shout out Lucas Wolf starting on the front row. I think that was really cool for him. I saw his merch trailer down here on the other side. They have a really funny sign. So it says, like, here's Lucas Wolf's merch trailer. And then if you walk past it, they have another one that says, whoa, you missed Lucas Wolf's merch trailer. You need to go back and check that out. I thought that was pretty cool. So cool to see him on the front row. Actually, they got it up on the DIRTVision screen. Perfect. It can help me out here while I'm thinking through it. Justin Peck was starting up near the front. Good run for Justin Peck tonight. Garrett Williamson was right there. But Peck led the early portions, but Ryan Timms restart. The start is what won Ryan Timms the race. Got past Emerson Axum literally before he got to turn 1. I wondered if they were going to call it back, but it seems like Emerson got the start. Ryan went with the leader went. Shout out Zach Hampton's shirt that says "Leader goes, you go." Shout out TK or hat. Shout out TK. But Ryan said he went when the leader went. Emerson went middle. There was a lane on the top, and Timms just took advantage.
Yeah, and he just timed that out perfectly, I feel like.
It was unbelievable.
And props to him for doing that, or being able to do that, I should say. And then executing it the way he did and not messing up or getting tripped up anywhere. That was a really, really big restart for him.
It's because it's so hard. Like, you guys are going, I don't know how fast, coming off a corner. And he mentioned it to us as well in the trailer talk last night that he was kind of expecting somebody to be up there or to close that lane. They didn't. And he was like, okay, well, now I'm in fourth coming out of 2.
Yeah. Unbelievable stuff for Ryan Timms. Let's just talk about the win. Got past Justin Peck pretty much with ease. I think, Justin had a good car, but Timms has just been on a different level this year. That's 5 wins for him this year at Knoxville in a 410, 6 overall. He won a 360 race. He won his first 410 win at Knoxville, early this year. Before this season, Ryan Timms had not even really sniffed victory lane. I'd like to go back and see what his best finish was at Knoxville before this year. And now it just seems like he's got this thing figured out. And I tweeted out yesterday, I was like, it is a comeback story, whether you like it or not. I mean, he, for the longest time, he finished second with the Outlaws in his second day of being 16 years old. And it's like, this kid's a phenomenon. And then it just didn't really pan out. Now, granted, that's only 2 years. How old is he? 18
I think
or
he's
19?
18.
Yeah.
So it's like we put so much expectation on him at 16 years old. Jumps around, passes in a couple rides. I think he got hurt in a crash, but now he's found his spot, and it's like, guess what? The Ryan Timms who we thought he was at 16, now he's that Ryan Timms that we know, and now he's out dominating. And it really should be no surprise. And last night's win was not a surprise to anybody in Knoxville.
No. Again, if you're paying attention, you knew that he was going to be one to watch. And we talked to him about it earlier this season that, when he was in his own family 5T, they really struggled, and he was down on himself, down in confidence, and it just kind of goes to show, I'd like to remind you, I know you haven't had the best season yourself, but it just goes to show that, it just could take the right circumstances, be it, car, whatever, that you get that win. And, man, is there anybody more confident in Knoxville right now than Ryan Timms?
Maybe Kyle Larson.
But, he only does this part-time.
Yeah. Flo literally had an ad with Kyle Larson. They're like, who do you think has the best chance to beat you for 3 in a row? And that's just a weird, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird to ask. So he rolled through. He's like, it's probably Rico. David's right there. But, yeah, I mean, the confidence is right there for Ryan. And he's out golfing right now. I bet it's
hooping.
Yeah, or he's playing basketball. I don't think it still hit him. And I don't think it will hit him.
No, you could tell it didn't last, or hadn't last night.
Absolutely. And based on the points, we'll bring it up, but he's probably going to sit on the front row. I mean, it's him, and then Sheldon's almost 20 points behind. So Ryan's probably going to be on the front row of the Knoxville Nationals. And what an unbelievable story for him, unbelievable story for the 10 League team.
Absolutely.
Very cool to see. Corey Day and Rico Abreu, they were kind of the fun of the night, just trying to get up through the feature. Corey Day ended up finishing 7th, I believe, and then Rico finished 8th. Both of them came from the B. No surprise there. I mean, Corey Day especially, when is he not coming from the back? It sure feels like whenever Corey starts up front, it's like good luck, like that Outlaw show that he won earlier this year. Same thing with Rico Abreu. I know Rico would probably like to be starting a little bit further up. He's going to have to pass some cars on Saturday night, but still 2 very phenomenal race car drivers.
Yeah, and it made it fun to watch. Obviously, the guys up front were shuffling it up, but it was fun to watch. Corey got through the field a lot faster than Rico did, but they still ended up right with each other.
Yeah.
And, I mean, with Corey, like you said, he does seem to be coming from the back all the time. And as a driver, you can speak to, you want to win every time you're out on the track. But points are the name of the game this week. And when we'll get to the points probably here next, they both ended up very well for points, and that ultimately is what they're shooting for. And they both are set up pretty well for Saturday.
Yep.
We talked about it. Caleb Johnson was in a big wreck, ironically, also on the DIRTVision board right as we're talking about it. Tough ride for Caleb. I know they got a lot of work to do today. Yeah. But good to see he was okay. At least he gave Josh the thumbs up. So
texted him this morning. He is ready to go tomorrow night, he said.
I think we're going to be all set in that aspect. So congratulations to Ryan on the victory. Really, really, really cool to see that. Your points as they roll here into tonight are from last night. So Ryan Timms has 487 points. Sheldon Hodenshield, 469. Corey Day, 468. Rico has 468. Emerson Axum, 467. Emerson should be very happy with the type of ride that he was able to have. Justin Peck, 460. Garrett Williamson, 460. Austin McCarl is 455. projected cut lines right there. On the outside looking in, Chris Wyndham is 9th, Jack Anderson is 10th, James McFadden 11th, Sam Haferteep Jr. is 12th, Danny Dietrich is 13th. And then David Gravel, Anthony Macri. David Gravel's 20th in points. Macri is 29th. Donnie Schatz is 34th. Chase Randall is 42nd. We'll see those on FVP Hard Knocks night. So, are we set to bring our guest up?
What do you want? You want to do a little preview with us for tonight, Shane?
Yeah. Shane Stewart joining us here on the stage here for our Knoxville Night show. Hop on up here.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, man?
How you doing?
I haven't done this in a while.
Well, you definitely don't need an introduction, but we're going to give you one anyway. From the reception, I think we all know who this guy is. He's the 2005 World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year. You are a 5-time 360 Nationals champion, 76 career wing sprint car wins. You had 17 of them right here at Knoxville. That's the most out of any track in your career.
Yeah.
And you had a really good string of finishes in the mid-2010s.
Yeah.
Welcome to Knoxville Nights, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing this.
Got a good crowd. Weather's good.
Heck yeah.
Had a lot of rain last night. Some crazy thunder.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously, we live in Oklahoma. We're used to the storms, and last night that was nuts.
Yeah,
that was
sure
some crazy stuff. But it's good. I'm glad the weather's out of the way for the day, and track ought to be interesting for tonight. Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
What'd you think of last night? Just kind of the show overall.
I think it's just typical racing in these times, right? Like everybody's fast. I knew passing was going to be pretty tough, as it was the last few years. Actually, the last couple times I ran the Knoxville Nationals, they'd just changed it to the 8 invert instead of 10, and we were all pretty excited about that because that extra row is really crucial. And then if you don't qualify that great, you're another row ahead, which is even more important, right? Obviously, you want to try to get qualified as best you can, and points are everything here. But the key is getting qualified and getting through your heat. And as we saw last night, I think there was 11 cars that qualified well that didn't get out of their heat. So it's tough. Tonight's going to be tough. I just hope they don't. I hope they don't alter the way this race is ran, because it needs to be hard. It's the Knoxville Nationals. It's the toughest race to win. I know everybody's fast these days, and it's tough to get through the heats, but I hope they don't change that invert. So, but happy to be here. My family's here with me. We try to plan this trip every year now to catch up with people that we don't get to see very often. We're at home busy with Port City Raceway, and Jen and I are chasing the kids around now. They're 5 and 10, so they're getting involved in sports. But life's good, man. Life's busy. People ask me all the time, do I miss racing? I don't miss it. Yesterday, if I was qualifying, my nuts or my stomach would have been in knots, and because of the rain and all that. But we enjoy coming here. I obviously enjoyed racing here. It was one of my best tracks. One of my most favorite tracks. I had a lot of great memories here with running here weekly and then with the Knoxville Nationals. So, yeah.
And if you were racing last night, you probably wouldn't have got that ace yesterday.
I would not have got that ace yesterday.
Josh wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. So we were playing Boss Landon with a couple buddies, and I think it's hole 3, the par 3. It's the downhill hole. Kind of tough to see the pin. And I knew I hit a pretty good shot, but obviously you don't ever think it's going to go in. And that was my second hole in one, actually. And so anyway, we're kind of giddy and talking about it, and we're rolling down the hill, and as we got closer to the pin, we started freaking out a little bit. So, it was a good day.
That would have been a good omen back in the day when you were racing.
I ruined it all in that hole in one, because we get back to the campsite and the awnings broke on the camper and all that, so it's like back to reality.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, do you want to preview tonight's show with us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, Blake.
Yeah, so we're rolling into tonight's notable qualifiers tonight. Logan Schuhart, J.J. Hickel, Darren Pittman, Gio Selzy, Bill Baylog, Brent Marks, Brian Brown, Carson Macedo, Brad Sweet, Kerry Madsen, Kyle Larson, PPM, and Buddy Kofoid. I think Logan Schuhart will kind of work our way down the line. Logan's had a lot of success here. Shark Racing has a really good half-mile program. Obviously, we saw that with Jacob Allen and whatnot in the last couple of years. I know this season hasn't been exactly what Logan's been looking for, but, boy, the team's rolling right now, and Knoxville's kind of their playground.
It is. Yeah, he won in 2018 and 2022. Had a Cappy win in 2022 as well. Ashton looked really good last night. That was his first time here at Knoxville, Bill told me. So for the first time, how tough is that rolling in here for the first time at the Knoxville Nationals?
Yeah, absolutely. That's tough. And he did really well.
Yeah.
But their cars are good.
Yeah.
And they've been really fast for a long time. I definitely think Logan's got a good shot at running well and getting some good points. So.
And it's hard to bet against him when he's run through the field so many times on Saturday.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's not. That's the thing. He can pass cars.
Yeah.
And that's been proven.
His scheme is the same exact paint scheme that he went 24th to like second or third a couple of years ago. It's just a little bit chrome.
Yeah.
Darren Pittman, you raced alongside of him for many years. He's still got it, man.
Well, we joke about it, right? Like last year, he said that car pretty much drove itself, right?
That was a fast race car.
For him to sit on the pole, that was pretty awesome. Anybody that gets in the 69 car goes really fast. So he said this year it's kind of a little bit back to reality of trying to learn. But I think he's definitely he's capable of running really well. He is. I mean, I know he doesn't get to race as much as he would like to or wants to, but I think he's got a good shot at running really well. So we'll see what happens with him. But
And how hard is it when you're off for a while and like really sporadically getting seat time, especially then you have to come back here and perform?
that's why I don't do it. I don't So the last time I ran was the year they did the million. So I did a couple races prior to that with Bernie, and then Sunshine ended up breaking his back. So Macri was actually going to race Bernie's car here, and then Macri ended up going into the seven car, and Bernie's like, well, that means you got to come run Knoxville. And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I was frustrated with myself because we missed the show by a few spots, and I was pretty bummed because that was the first time I've missed the race in a long, long time. So. And then I thought, you know what, it's just hard to jump in a car and be competitive with the guys that do it all the time. And it was a big eye-opener for me. And on top of that, man, it's just taking a risk of hurting yourself. And we got a business, obviously, back home that relies on us to be there every week. And I fell off a ladder last year, broke my heel. And, man, it just put a lot of weight on a lot of people because I couldn't do nothing. And so it just like, man, if I hurt myself in a race car, it doesn't really do me any good anymore, right? It's not how I make my living. So it was just time to really call it quits 100%. But I think Darren's got a good shot. I think Darren's got enough talent to run up front, and it's going to be exciting to see what he can do.
A lot of eyes are going to be on Giovanni Scelzi here tonight in the 7BC. 410. Welcome to the 7BC. Did he run the Cappy on Sunday night?
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't look terrible. I think he was 7th or 8th or something, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the gelling portion. When you have to gel with your team, is that
tough.
a thing? Yeah,
Yeah, especially when you're used to a group of guys and then you jump into another car that's totally set up for another driver, for that crew chief to learn your habits, the way you drive a car, the way you communicate in a short period of time is really tough. And that's with any team. I mean, you're kind of seeing that a little bit with Brad Sweet and Donnie Schatz. I mean, they've both been in between crew chiefs and mechanics, and it's just it's tough. It's tough to find good people that want to go out there and commit to doing that job. I mean, it's not, you don't get a lot of pats on the back. It doesn't pay $1 million. Yeah. You're gone a lot. So yeah, I mean, I think obviously Gio's got the talent to run up front here, and he's proven that. But to jump in another car and get up to speed really quick is pretty tough.
And he was passing a ton of cars last week at the 360 Nationals as well, and he won his prelim night last year as well. So that is a very fast car. I think he'll be up front.
So what time sat on the front row last night? What you remember? 20 something? Was it 19th quick?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I don't
there.
see that being any different tonight.
Yeah.
I think your 20s.
Yeah. It was about 19th, 20th, because Lucas was right there. So
okay.
Yeah, he was 19th.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, because there was a few times I qualified. I drew bad, and I'm pretty sure I qualified 15th, 17th. Started on the front row of our prelim and was able to pick up a couple wins that way. But man, if you don't qualify good and you start on the front row of your feature, you have to run well, because if you fade, you're definitely being main.
You're stuck.
So, yeah.
How tough is it to not then try too hard and get in your head and just start pushing too hard, knowing that you've got to get all of the points that you can?
Oh, you just forget about that, right? You just got a mission to try to stay at least where you're at or not fade too many spots. Typically, when you start on the front row towards the front, your car, if it's set up decent, you can typically run up there and finish up there. So, I was fortunate to come here with some really good teams, and we always had fast cars here. So.
Brian Brown racing tonight, for the longest time it was always, when's Brian going to win one of these? When's Brian going to win one of these? And now, Brian even, I think, would tell us that he had that mindset, I got to win, I got to win, I got to win. He talked to us on our Jetco Trailer Talk that, he's a grandpa now. And
right.
His whole mindset has kind of changed, and he doesn't care where he runs. He's just ready to run. Did your mindset change any when you have these kids? And, does anything change for you when it came to the driving side?
No, not really. I probably felt a little bit more pressure, right?
Yeah.
You got diapers to pay for, and just not you and your wife anymore. Now you got babies to feed. So, no, I don't know. I don't ever really recall thinking, So I would always put like a lot of money pressure on, like especially when I was racing with Paul with Silva, because money was such a big thing for us to keep us going. And there was a few years that we ran really well here, and so I was like, I need to make 100,000. Like the car needs to make between the 10 days. My goal is to make 100 grand, and if we exceeded that, that more or less meant we won the nationals. So that was kind of my goal then. And then once we got in contention with like LMR. My mindset changed a little bit because I felt like every time we came here, we legitimately had a shot at winning. And, man, it just did not work out. The year that Jason Johnson won, I felt like was one of my strongest years. We ended up breaking a spark plug halfway in the race, and I pretty much ran the whole race on 7 cylinders. And there was a couple times I started on the front row here and broke a U-joint. And then you just get in your mind, like you're just saying with Brian, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I mean, we always came here with the mindset to win. And this race, I felt like it always picked its winners before we even got here, right? Like it was just, obviously in my era, Donnie was the man to beat. And the year I started, I think it was 16th, I started and ran second. At the break, before the race, I told Paul, I'm like, listen, because Donnie started maybe a row or 2 rows in front of me that year. And I'm like, if I can stay with him and be close to the top 5 by the break, and that was one of the first years they had the 50-lap race, I felt like we had a good shot at winning the race. And I didn't do that. And Donnie did. I think Donnie was like top 5 at the break, and I was like 7th or 8th. And so then it's like a little bit more pressure, and we got to him at the end of the race, but I didn't have nothing for him. But there was just a lot of scenarios that played out over my career that just didn't work out well for me here, but we were there, we were in contention. It just things didn't work out well for us on that race. We were obviously really competitive with the 360, but everybody wants to win the Knoxville Nationals, and we were close a few times.
It goes to show how hard it is. And you mentioned Paul. What makes him so good? Because you guys, I think it was 4 of the 5 360 championships, or 360 national championships you won with him. Yeah. We've obviously seen what he's done with Kyle.
Yeah.
What makes him so good?
He's just dedicated to it. I mean, he lives and eats and breathes it, and he's really good at managing money. And like I said, back then we didn't have a ton of it, and we had some great partners that are actually still involved with his team today. Finley Farms, and there was just a group of guys that all got along real well and wanted to see the team succeed. And we literally put together this team with nothing, right? Like we left Sacramento with $1,000 in the bank. And we went to Devil's Bowl for the first ASCS race, and we was like, listen, like we gotta win one of these nights to keep going, and we were able to do that.
No pressure.
And then so it propelled us, and then once we started running well, it was a little easier to get funding. People wanted to be involved with the team and the car, and Paul's Paul. Like he just understands engines. He understands like how the car reacts on the track. And what's crazy is he's never even sat behind the wheel, not one time.
It's unbelievable.
And for him to see, has such a keen eye to know what the car's doing, that was a trait that I didn't have very often with too many crew chiefs. So he's just good. He's just a good crew chief.
And how was your guys' relationship? Like I've heard that him and Larson don't even talk when they get off the racetrack. Like Paul just knows what he's doing.
No, so Larson's way more calm than I am. Like we would scream at each other like brothers.
Sounds like somebody I know, Kate.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of times like about 2 or 3 races later, I would have somebody come up to me like, "Man, we thought you and Paul were going to kill each other." Like, no, we were just we're passionate, And there was a few nights we won, and he still barked at me, couple mistakes I had throughout the night, and I shouldn't have been in that position. And he's tough. He's a tough guy. But I mean, listen, when you got Kyle racing for you, like the guy doesn't mess up very often at all. So for Paul to sit there and bark at him would be pretty tough. And it's good to see Paul from where we started and to see where his program is today. It's nothing due to but hard work and dedication to sprint car. So when him and he had a lot of success with Rico too.
Yep.
But when him and Larson got hooked up, I knew that they were going to be a dominant team for years to come.
It was interesting hearing you kind of walk through that because you see what the success that they've built up now and what the team is, but it's cool to hear that it wasn't always that way.
No, gosh, no. Like we had a dually that was donated to us. We had a trailer that was a complete disaster. We literally outfitted it within a couple of weeks to get ready for the ASCS deal, and we ended up actually winning the championship that year, the first year we did it. So it was just nothing but just 2 guys wanting to race well, each and every night. And that first year we came here, we ran 5th at the Knoxville Nationals with a motor that was bought eventually, but was more or less donated to us from TSR. So we just had a lot of people that believed in what we were trying to do, and that's what got us up and down the road, and it led obviously into bigger and better things for both of us down the road.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Carson Macedo, another one we talk about. Obviously, the Jason Johnson Racing team. I always felt that Carson, you wonder if he folds pressure, to perform in that car. Obviously, we saw David Gravel win his nationals in that car.
Yeah.
And it's always a thing, Shane. Track doesn't owe anything to you. I mean, this track almost killed Carson Macedo a couple years ago with the fire. There's pressure for everybody to win the Nationals, but in that car, it's tenfold.
Yeah, I think there's pressure on all those guys, especially when they get to a full-time ride like that, right? Like, same way with me with LMR. Same thing. Like, I felt a lot of pressure, but as a driver, you have to kind of set that aside and know that I have to do my job every day, right? Not just at the Knoxville Nationals, but every time we load and pull into the pit area, I got to feel like I have a shot at winning a World Outlaw race or high limit race or whatever series you're running. And I think that team is very capable of not only running well tonight, but winning this race. Obviously, Phillip's done it as a crew chief a couple times. And so a lot of it's mindset, man. Like drivers get a little mental block here because it's such a big event. It's easy to get yourself wrapped up in what's going on and jinx yourself. And hopefully Carson's not that way. I mean, I feel like he's legitimately got a shot at winning this race and definitely a top contender. And they've proven that the last few years. I mean, Phillip's like Paul Silva. He's dedicated to what he's doing. He's got a really nice package, a great team, great sponsors. I think he's definitely going to be in contention to win.
I mean, firsthand working with Phillip back in 2020, you jumped in that thing for the first time, and you guys went out and won at Lakeside.
Yeah.
What was that night like?
Big. It was big. I tell people it was one of my biggest wins in my whole career. Yeah. So racing the 41 and having the relationship that I had with Jason and his family, that was a big night for all of us. Yeah.
Brad Sweet, new team. I always say that. I mean,
it is kind of a new team.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's Casey Kane's team. Were you surprised how that whole situation went down? I mean, obviously Casey coming off the road. That's abrupt. Obviously, I've loved watching Casey up through the years, and while sprint car success hasn't exactly been what he's wanted, but for Brad, it just came down. They just needed a change, and this high limit point standings, it's so tight. They know they were going to have to make a change here soon.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. And the same thing as like what we were talking about earlier. Like, find the people that want to do this now is tough, right? So obviously there was some things going on behind the scenes prior to that switch and change. I saw that Casey's wife was pretty vocal on social media after the whole Eldora thing, and so I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be tough to see Casey not racing all the time.
He's taking tough hits.
He has, and I've been a Casey King fan for a long time. Enjoyed what he's done in the the NASCAR world, and to see him get back into the sprint car, and he's this year, especially the beginning of the year, he had some good strong finishes.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, he's going to pull off a win here soon.
Yeah.
And but it's like you're not getting any younger. He's got a family now, and he doesn't have to race.
Yeah. No.
So obviously Brad's still doing it for a living, and KKR still has obligations to sponsors and people like Napa and but once again, Brand, I think Brad's obviously very capable of winning this race, and again, they're going to be in contention as well.
And how tough is that when you have like two teams that you kind of gel together? Like obviously Brad and those guys have worked together at one point or another, but then it goes to full-time crew guys on Brad's car. How tough is that change, do you think?
It's tough, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the guys Brad's actually worked with before.
Yeah.
Before they went to go work with Casey. But I look at like Donnie Schatz and Ricky Warner, right? Like Brad had Eric, and then Eric gets off the road, and Brad struggles a little bit, like trying to find a crew chief that he works well with, and I kind of feel like Donnie's kind of in that same kind of predicament without Ricky. So it'll be interesting to see how this weekend goes for that team, and then the rest of the year, yeah, for sure.
Buddy Kofoid races tonight. The dude's won all the big money. He is currently the highest earning race car driver this year.
Yeah.
He's on top of the world right now, and you don't really think of it because he's not leading outlaw points, but he's racking up wins. Confidence is a big thing. You talked about mental, and I think right now, Buddy, mentally, while this hasn't been his forte, you got to be coming in with a big chest, especially after last week winning the Ironman.
I think Buddy has the exact mental capability to win this race. He's level-headed. He doesn't get excited. He's obviously proven that he can win big pain races. I can tell you when the money's on the line and you have a shot at winning a race, it's very easy to screw up and ruin that opportunity. And he hasn't been doing that. So I think that team is definitely hitting on all 8 cylinders and legitimately has a good shot at winning this race for sure.
Kerry Madsen, another one. Kerry broke through a couple weeks ago, finally got that win. Kind of been eating at him for so long. Kerry's just one of those that it's not going to go away. The threat that we see every single week, Kerry's there every single week. And Vermeer, I mean, that 55 team has been strong, and Kerry's success here is amplified. Almost won the Outlaw race here earlier this year.
Yeah, and you've raced with Kerry plenty over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like he still has. You can definitely get it done.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, he hasn't. I don't feel like he's really missed a beat. I mean, since I've been out here racing with him, and that's just due to him racing all the time and all the laps that he's had here, the successes he's had here. I agree. I think he's got a good shot. I think things have to really play out well for a team like that. But I do feel like they can have a strong run for sure. Yep.
And then Kyle Larson.
He's not very good.
I was going to say, I don't think I have to say much else about him.
Yeah.
For him, it feels like, does this feel, I mean, I know you haven't been racing, but is this starting to feel like the Donnie years where it was just Donnie?
100%. Yeah, I didn't realize that nobody's ever won it 3 years in a row.
Which is just crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy to me. I would have swore Donnie won it 3 years in a row. It sure felt like it because I ran second to him a lot. But, yeah, no, I mean, you can't say enough about him. Just not as a race car driver, but just as an individual. Like, he's just a good, down-to-earth guy, especially all the stuff that he's accomplished. And I can still send him a text, and he responds to me like that. His little guy's been running at my track a few times this year. So we get to spend a little bit more time with him away from, what he does on a daily basis. And it's good to watch him be a dad and kind of coach his kids. They obviously are capable of winning this race. They've proven it time and time again. And same thing, like Kyle's a mild-mannered, level-headed guy. And I think when he gets behind the car, he just puts himself in great positions. He doesn't put himself in bad positions. And his pace is unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. Whether he's chasing or you're chasing him, he's one of the few that can make people make mistakes.
We talk about guys that aren't in the car very often. I mean, doesn't make a lot of starts. I mean, makes a lot of starts, but in and out, cup car, you know, for the longest time he was racing the late model.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, and I think that's what makes him so unique, because he can jump into something, and whether it's a road racing car or a late model or a cup car or a sprint car or whatever, he's just got that knack. He's just got his butt can feel everything, right? Like, and that's where it is. Like, a good race car driver feels everything through his butt, right?
Yeah.
And he's just a unique talent. Obviously, I was fortunate enough to drive for him as a car owner, and to see even that side of him. He was super young then.
Yeah.
And man, he would watch videos and call me and say, "Man, you're not doing this right, or you're not doing that right." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." Yeah. And I couldn't say, "You got to be quiet. Why don't you get in and drive it?" Because he would be able to do it and show me what's up. But yeah, he's a good guy. I enjoy our time that we get to spend together when we do, but I think tonight's. It's funny too. Like, you always hear people talk like, "Oh man, Wednesday night's stacked," and they're both stacked.
Yeah.
There's no easy night here.
And that's how it should be. Yeah.
And continuing on Kyle for just a little bit too, I think especially as he's definitely brought more of the NASCAR fans into the sport. It's a little underrated what he has kind of given to the sport also. You know, he had a team out on the road with the Outlaws for a while, especially now with High Limit, what he's doing. I think it's important to call out that he is definitely helping grow the sport of sprint car racing.
There's no doubt. I mean, it's crazy what one individual can do, like Tiger Woods did with golf. I feel like Kyle has, kind of done the same thing with sprint car racing. So it's good to see. I'm a sprint car guy. I always will be. And it's good to see the sport grow. I get really mad and super jealous of all these high-paying races that I don't get to race anymore. But yeah, it's good to see the sport grow. It's good to see the big car counts. Yeah, so he's definitely done a lot for the sport, for sure.
You talked about owning a track. What's more stressful, owning a track or running a race car?
Different stresses. Now my stresses are if my track's going to be good or not, right?
Are parents happy or?
Yeah, no, we just know that they're never going to be happy. We learned that real quick. So it makes me appreciate the Duncans, right? Especially on days like this, right? Like, I mean, they know what to do on a hot August day and leading up to a big race like this to get the track right, to make sure it's got two grooves. But when it rains, I don't know what it rained last night. I heard everything.
About 2 inches.
About 2.5 inches.
Okay, so when it rains like that, it throws a big kink into how you prepare a racetrack. So my track is like you could fit 3 of them inside this infield. So now you got double the equipment, right? Double the tractors, double the graders, double the water trucks. That's what I do now. I go to racetracks. I look at the machinery now instead of looking at the cars. I'm like, man, I'd love to have that grader. That's a nice looking grader. So here's the deal. I bought my racetrack. I didn't know how to even start my grader. It's been one of the best things to learn is preparing the track, because in Oklahoma, you have to look at the wind, you have to look at the sun, you have to look at the humidity, same as it is here, and all that plays a factor into how much water you put on the track and when you put the water on it and how much. And so when you get a group of guys that do such a good job like they do here, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough to get it right every night, especially when you race on a track day after day after day. Throw a big equation in it like last night's rain early this morning. Those guys don't sleep, right? Like, especially on weekends and days like today. Like, they go and they nap. They don't sleep. So.
And nobody's more disappointed than you guys because you're going to have bad nights, just like the race teams do.
Right.
Nobody's more disappointed than you because you want to have a track that can put on a show for the fans.
And honestly, there's I get the same kind of satisfaction of racing well. Like, you go from 16th to 5th. You're like, man, that was a good night. When you see a good race at your track where they're sliding each other and there's a bottom groove and a top groove, I get the same kind of feeling like, we did it. We did a good job tonight. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's different challenges. Owning a racetrack has definitely been eye-opening for Jen and I. And now I'm dipping my toes in the insurance world.
Oh, man.
And so that's been a whole nother deal that we've been trying to push with the CAP program and trying to get all these drivers protected in the right way. And
very important.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's I feel like when I'm done racing, like I've touched in every part of it. So
where can you learn more about that?
Yeah, so the CAP program is it's competitiveadvantageprogram.com. You can go on the website, you can sign up for it. It's $280 for $500,000 and an accidental medical insurance. And just the past couple of weeks with all these drivers getting hurt, it's just important to make sure that you're covered. And most drivers aren't covered insurance wise the right way, like they think they are. And when you get hurt, you need that extra $500,000. That $280 is cheap. Yeah. And so anyway, we bought the racetrack, and obviously insurance is a big part of that. And then I became good friends with Dave Labor, who works for SIS, who insures our racetrack, and I think they insure like almost 500 racetracks around the country. Wow. So it's a big company. They've had the CAP program going for 4 or 5 years, and just not too many people know about it. And I told them, hey, look, let me help push that. I think it's important. It's definitely something that needs to be pushed more because it's not just for drivers, it's for mechanics too. So if a mechanic gets hurt at a racetrack, you're covered. But anyway, so I've been trying to help push that a little bit to the drivers, educate people on it. And I've had to get all my license in the insurance world, which was educational. Like, right, I'm sitting there studying, and
those tests aren't the easiest.
It's not, man. It is not. Not when I'm getting ready to be 50, right? And I'm like, man, I have not studied for a test in a long time, right? So, yeah. So, I've been fortunate to be with a great group of people on that side of it that's been able to teach me some things, and then just being educated as a track owner, Jen and I, just because. Man, track owners have a lot of crazy things that happen to them out, like people don't even know or hear about. And so to kind of understand that world a little bit, it makes your rest a little bit easier at night being a track owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I have one question going back to Larson. Whose idea was it to run that non-wing show?
The one at Lawrenceburg?
Yeah.
Well, so it was my buddies. They had a little bonus. The really sad thing about that whole night was that was my Kings Royal car, and we had just won the Outlaw race the night before, right? So the whole thing is they told me you don't have a hair on your ass if you don't take the wing off. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how hard can it be? So we actually had everything set up the way it needed to be. We had Matt Hummel there helping us, and I just flat made a big mistake, right? And it cost me. But the thing that aggravates me the most is if I wouldn't have crashed, I honestly think that we would have ran just fine, right? Just getting into a race. But it's Lawrenceburg is a different animal with a wing and then without. That track is pretty intimidating without a wing. So. But yeah, no, it was I blame my friends for putting the pressure on me to try that. But now I get the memes every once in a while of me flipping through there, and what's the worst that can happen?
Oh yeah.
What could go wrong?
Can't be that much.
What do you think, Blake? Time to make some picks?
Yeah, I think it's time to make some picks. So what we did last night, Shane.
Put you on the spot.
Shane. We took two guys, and what we did was for our points we averaged them out. So Josh was technically our winner last night. Josh had Ryan Timms.
Okay.
But then he also picks James McFadden, who finished like 15th. Josh will have that list
We
up
were
for
taking
you.
average, right?
Yeah, we're taking average. So Josh's average was 7.5. I picked Rico and Corey. They finished 7th and 8th. My average is 7.5. And you sucked. You've had Chase Randall and David Gravel, so you're going to be starting first here today.
I think we got to let the guest go.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
let the
let
guest
Shane
go
go first.
Hey, you big Gravel, go ahead. That's tough. You don't see cars like that crash very often like that. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, Larson.
No, that's not the first time this year you've done that.
So
Can somebody else pick Larson too?
No, yeah, I got to do
you got to
different.
pick somebody
Gotta do
else.
different.
Okay.
So you can go next, Shane.
All right. So I get to pick one.
Yep. And then we'll come back around. You'll pick one more.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Macedo.
Carson Macedo. Both Macedo's brothers running tonight. What'd you think of that whole Cole Macedo flipping after the start-finish line thing?
You ever done that?
No, but I've crashed in hot laps. I've crashed in qualifying. I've done everything but crash after the start-finish line.
All
Now,
right.
I've actually crashed lining up for the feature.
That's impressive.
Like same thing kind of happened with him as I was coming up, because we always get a lap, to catch up to the pace truck. Guy slowed down in front of me, and I smoked him, and I ended up tearing the car up. But yeah, I've done everything but crash after the race.
Josh?
No, I won. Who'd you take?
Oh, yeah. Let me.
Come on, Blake.
Brian Brown.
Okay. He won last year on his prelim night. I'm taking Gio Scelzi in the 7BC.
It's not a bad one.
That's a good pick.
No.
Brown hasn't finished outside the top 3 in a 410 race here since June.
That's right. Who's your second guy, Shane?
I think I'm going with Kerry Matson.
Hey, Madsen.
Yeah.
Stole my pick.
I think those are my 2 guys.
I will go. Did you pick Schuhart yet?
Dang it. I mean, I was. Dang it. All right. So you're going with Schuhart. Give me.
I'll take it.
Give me Buddy Kofoid. Give me Buddy Kofoid.
I like Buddy Kofoid. I'm going to go with a fan favorite and a guy that was really good here in the June Outlaw race. I'm going to go with Bill Baylog.
Yep. Bill's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
He's actually he's had a really good year. I know he's had some bad luck with some crashes, but
Especially here, yeah.
yeah, his consistency has really been good. So, and that's huge for a team like him. I mean, I saw what all the money he won at Huset's and what it did for his team. He's the same as Paul and I were, man. Like, he has to run well to keep himself out on the road, and hopefully one of these teams recognize his talent, his work ethic, and picks him up.
And it gives a lot of respect to the IRA. I mean, 10-time IRA champion,
Yeah.
You're like 10-time. I mean, what was he facing? That's good competition.
Yeah.
Then he comes on here.
Yeah.
We saw that with Travis Aarons, who goes on and wins a high limit show earlier this
Right.
year. I mean, the IRA's no joke.
No, it's not. And they know their tracks,
Yeah.
and they've got unique tracks. No, I agree. The IRA is no joke. Honestly, there really isn't any series.
No.
Whether it's ASCS or whatever, they're all tough.
Yeah.
They all got tough cars that race them, and they've all got their cars, their car owners that have plenty of money to throw at it and make their cars run up front. So, so Jen's dad, Dave, has helped Bill quite often. So, we're big fans of the North Pole Nightmare.
I'm a big fan of the North Pole Nightmare. So.
Before we get to wrapping up here, what's coming up at Port City?
Well, so listen, we've had 7 rainouts this year, so we're like talking about we're like talking about having a Christmas bash. We have our we've got our Pete Frazier Memorial Race coming up, which is always on Labor Day. It's a big event for us. Pete Frazier was a huge figure in the micro world. And then we go into our month of October. We've got several midget races. We've got our KKM Give Back race. That's always a big one there. And then we try to end in November sometime with our fall brawl. But it looks like we might be racing a little bit longer, weather permitting, obviously. But yeah, we've had a crazy winter, or crazy summer with rain. We've had like over 50 inches of rain.
Wow, that's incredible.
And just like Friday, we had a race scheduled. It wasn't supposed to rain, and it just dumped on us the whole day. So just been one of them years. It's every track owner goes through these good years and bad years. But good thing about us, we have a great team. Our track drains really well, and typically our pit area is always like compacted, tough. Like we don't have to worry about trucks getting stuck, which is important for us. And typically we can handle a lot of rain and still race, but we've just been getting hammered. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that gets out of the way. We got a few big events coming up, and it's going to be a busy few months for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back here on the DIRTVision stage tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Garrett Williamson joins us at 2 o'clock. So thanks to everybody for watching on YouTube and Facebook, and everybody for coming out here. Make sure to follow all Knoxville Nights on social media. We're going to keep posting stuff. Our Jetco trailer talks have been going out, been doing really well. And then don't forget to follow Josh and Kate and I on social media. And Shane, follow you on social media. I know you don't, I don't think you tweet a lot, but
I don't. Not as much as I probably should. Typically when I tweet, I gotta like tweet it and then erase it, because I'm like probably like trying to, man, why would you say that about my track? Like, it's a good track, right? So I'm like, no, I can't say that. But social media, that's tough for us now. Like,
it's everywhere.
It's tough being track owners. But
see
no, I
everybody's
don't. I
opinion.
try not to. I try not. Well, like I said, I need to have probably a bigger presence on social media. Tim Crawley does a great job with Texarkana. And I just, man, I don't know, about something about hearing my voice on the camera. It just kind of weird to me. But I don't tweet a lot. I don't. Yeah.
Well, Shane, we appreciate your time, man.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for coming
Appreciate
up
it.
and
Thank you
joining us
very
here
much.
today.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone, for watching Knoxville Nights. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
A great sign is a surefire way to get people through the door. At Impact Signs, Awnings, Wraps, we specialize in creating beautiful signs that capture attention and draw people in. Whether you're a business, school, church, bank, hospital, or event venue, we have the perfect sign solution for you. We make the process simple. From design to manufacturing to installation, our team handles it all. The right sign helps you stand out and attract more customers, so you want to get it right. Impact Signs, Awnings, Wraps. #any sign, anywhere.